I'm Amy.
Welcome to the show. It's an inside joke. Kind of, sort of, but not really. I've been watching the middle, and Brick always whispers his words, so I've been doing that a bunch. How y'all doing tonight? Tonight we're going to talk about, is bigger always better? In the wood shop, we'll find out. What's the matter? You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tonight's Sawdust Spotlight. If you don't know, we have a Facebook community, and it's all there for your support. What's the matter?
Because I'm not logged into my regular now. I have ads.
Well, skip the ad. Or why'd you skip the ad? Could have gave us half a penny. Hey, so we have a community, facebook.com/group/731 Woodworks. Each week, our daughter picks out a Sawdust Spotlight, in case you don't know. This week, she picked out Pascal DeMarzo. He's been making flags. Look at those. Those are sweet. And just for Memorial Day week, check those out. He's doing a really, really good job. So he is our Sawdust Spotlight. Good job, Pascal. How y'all like those flags? Those look awesome, don't they? So the topic is bigger, always better. So that's kind of my thought when I started woodworking in the garage. I moved into the 2-car garage out of a little bitty storage shed. And when I moved in there, I was like, whoa, look at all this room. It's so much. I'll never fill it up. And then 4 years later, 4.5 years later, it's full. And so that's the premise is when I was building the miter station against the wall, I built it 10 feet long and it was 2 feet deep. But there was also another almost 18 inches behind it because the DeWalt had the arms that stick out that had to slide. So you're talking like almost 3 feet of floor space and that is taken up plus 10 feet. When I started rebuilding my new one last week, a new video comes out Thursday on the start. It's going to be a 2-part video. I was like, I don't need that much. I don't cut real long lumber. 10 feet boards is really the most. And for the most part, most things I cut are short. So on the miter saw are shorter, 5-6 feet sometimes. Having a massive miter station doesn't make sense in my space. And it was taking up way too much room. So I thought bigger's not always better. So I consolidate down to 6 feet long miter station. So basically left of the saw will give me 4 feet. Right of the saw will give me 18 inches. And then I'm going to have another system set up for longer boards on the left. But for the most part, consolidating down has freed up a ton of space already, and I'm not even done. I've got tools laying in the floor because I'm redoing things, and I still have more room than I did before I started. So it's not always better to have big stuff. Even my workbench is 4 foot by 8 foot. I don't regret that one at all because I constantly use that big space for ripping plywood or building longer projects that you just need that extra flat space. I don't regret that size. So in that instance, I'm glad I went that way. Before I had 3 foot by 5 foot workbench and I was always, something would fall off the edge or whatever. This one, I rarely have that problem, but I was curious what you guys think about that. Clark says, Matt, you need a pole barn 40 by 60. You can get back to more woodwork content creation. Yeah, I mean, if I had a big space, then I would want to fill it up too. I mean, I think you would fill up whatever space you got, right?
Okay, how do I get out of that?
What'd you do?
Never mind.
What are you still messing with over there?
I don't know.
You still signing in?
Yeah, I think I got it fixed now. Okay.
Jesse C says, I use the beehive method. Everything I need, just 2 steps away, raw material on the bench, finished product off the end. That's a pretty good method.
Matt Moses, thank you so much. We love that show too. The Chosen.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
We love it. You tend to fill up any space that you're in, no matter what it is, you know?
Yeah, until you run out of room, and then you have to start rethinking things. And that's kind of where I'm in the rethinking mode right now. So I'm just kind of bring some of that stuff into, this makes more sense. And I think that most people building workbenches or building miter stations, while the ones that have the cabinets above them and tons of storage underneath, they look cool. Like I was taking the miter station apart, and when I was pulling out drawers, I was like, they're just all full of crap. It's just tons of like paper and just trash. It's just trash that gets stuck in there. It's junk drawers. So I'm kind of hesitant to put drawers on this one that I'm building. I'm going to, but they're going to fill up unless I put some type of organization in there. So we're going to work on that as well. And the getting organized, one thing is like, so I built an organization wall. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting some pictures and reels there, and then on the community tab here, but on YouTube. But I got an OmniWall organization system going, and just the speed at which you can find something, use it, and if you put it back, that's the key. It just makes your work more efficient, and you don't spend 10 minutes looking for a tape measure or 10 minutes looking for the wrench that's somewhere in the bottom of a drawer. Like that stuff to me frustrates me to no end when I know I have the tool or I know I have the piece of the part and I can't find it because I've slammed it in a drawer somewhere and it's gotten buried with other stuff on top. So it just makes everything more, we call it efficient.
If you haven't already, make sure you drop your states so we can give you a shout out.
H2 says, my space is 12 by 30 and I share it with the household stuff. Still working on a workbench, miter station, and shelving. I like your wall system. How much would that kind of system cost? So I think that's the Woodworker XL, the Weekend Warrior XL package that I got. It's right now it's 10% off on Amazon. It's like starts at $850, I think. And it comes with tons of accessories. Like most of the accessories that you saw in the picture come with that kit. I picked up the socket set, organizer, and a couple of other odds and ends there. And then I also got stuff for the home gym that you wouldn't need, like extra hooks and things. But $850 for the Weekend Warrior, and then you could add on any accessory that you would use. It's really not bad. And I've had people ask me, why didn't I go with a French cleat system? And I thought about that, but one time mainly. But then you got to buy the plywood. That stuff's $100 a sheet or $90 a sheet right now for 3/4 inch plywood. And then you got to rip and cut all those pieces. You're talking several $100s just to do that, plus hours on end of making hangers and all kinds of stuff custom for your tools. If somebody's already got it and it's made out of metal, it's super sturdy. It's like really a no-brainer. So,
did you decide to come over and be on the show? Huh? Did you decide to come be on the show?
Jesse, you're right. If you can't organize it, you might as well not even own it. If it takes you hours to find it. That's right.
Well, and okay, so one of your problems, though, on stuff like that is that sometimes you kind of get lost in
Oh, I get in a hurry.
Well, but you get lost in the idea of your organization. So
this is exactly what I'm thinking. I think she's bad talking to me.
No, I love it that you said that you were rethinking the putting drawers in there. I didn't say anything to you earlier, but I like it that you're rethinking that because I think you do get lost in the idea of your organization sometimes because you get excited about the potential.
Oh, it's awesome.
Of the organization, but then you kind of overthink it. And so I'm glad that you're stopping to think about that because you will get like your big workbench. Mm-hmm. I don't think you need it. Some of the stuff that's on there.
Oh, it's awesome. All of it's awesome.
Are you licking him?
She's licking my arm.
But you don't need some of that, right?
I mean, I didn't need the play button in the center. But
that's
I like
not what I'm talking about. I think you get
all
lost
the drawers
in some
and
of
stuff's
it.
On there are full of clutter.
What I'm saying is when you are restricted by space, we are heavily restricted by space at our house. Extremely. You guys can't see it here, but in our studio, we have his workspace, my workspace, storage for our shipping supplies, storage for printers and printing supplies, storage for board butter supplies, packing supplies.
It's to the ceiling.
Oh my gosh. Our files that we have to keep on everything. And he gets lost in some of this stuff and everything becomes a jumbled mess. So I think when you are restricted by space, you really have to stop and think about the most effective way you can use the space that you have.
Yep.
So
right.
Bigger is not always better, but efficiency is always super important. You have to be
it
very
makes a
efficient.
huge difference in like the speed you can build things or batch things out or
It's
just
very
work.
important to be very efficient. And so I think that I went out there today several times and I would watch him. Sometimes he would see me, sometimes he wouldn't. And
Spying on me.
he looked like he was playing with Legos at some points, because he would take pieces of wood and he was setting them in different spots and he was kind of shuffling them. And it was almost like you could see things in his head moving around. And it looked like he was trying to figure out, okay, if I put this board here, what pieces would I put between these two boards if this was a drawer or if this was a shelf or if I put this? And he was moving the boards around. I mean, it was literally like he was taking boards and he was shuffling and he would look.
I told you. I told on the members only stream, I said, I think I spent more time ciphering than I did building.
He really did. And so I think it's important to do something like that. Because not only is bigger not always better, but sometimes bigger is not possible because you don't have the space for it to be, so you have to kind of find your space somewhere. And I think that's our biggest obstacle right now. And he kind of is taking over every space possible.
That's rude.
Oh, I mean, you are. And so we have to try to
took over that corner?
Oh my gosh, I have a corner. I have a slice in the office. And your
and the
stuff is in my way. We live here.
I work here.
I mean, come on. I can take your slice away. You can go back into the shed.
No, that's rude.
All right, then. So, I mean, you have to figure out the most efficient and effective way to use it, right?
I agree.
So, I think it's very important on how to do that. He actually took his old saw and put it beside, right? That's what it was, the saw. He put them side by side and tried to figure out, space-wise, how much he could save here and there. I mean, even if it's inch by inch, you have to try to figure out how to save that.
Well, so by saying that, whenever I'm looking at that wall, I've got X amount of inches to work with. Whenever I put the miter station there, I want to be able to roll that router table beside it because it'll go right beside it if I do it right. And then on the other side, I can push the bandsaw up in that little covey. And so that gives me maximum space and I can free up floor space. I can roll those two tools out when I need them. But when I don't, they can just be out of the way. And that's one of the things. If the miter station is 2 inches too long, then it just won't work. And that's one of those things you don't really think about until you start adding other stuff to your shop. And that's one of the reasons I built the miter station so big to begin with, the initial one. That was the only thing in there. She scratched. That was the only thing in there. And so when I built it, I didn't have a 3 foot by 5 foot workbench. It wasn't very big, but I still had plenty of room because that's all was in there. And so whenever I started adding extra tools, not thinking forward at the time I built it, when you start adding stuff, then you run out of room pretty quick. There was a question I was trying to get to. Where'd it go?
Papa Frida's is not going to get to stay on here tonight because he and his bride are on a getaway to celebrate their anniversary.
That's awesome.
But she said that he can't call her Mama Frida's because that means fried mamas. That's funny.
PLC Woodwork says, I love your kit that you ship out with each order. Thank you. That was her idea. Would it be a good idea to do something like that if you sold at a festival? Absolutely. I think it would be a cool little thing. It's just a little extra add-on. If you don't know, when you buy something physical from us and you get it shipped to you, there's a little survival kit in there that has 10 or 15 different things in there that she's packed. It's like a little package. So you get a little piece of candy and you get some other things, little niceties that will make you smile, and a little note. Pretty cool.
I loved doing that, getting that together. I got so irritated at myself though because it was supposed to have on the labels, it was supposed to say a Wompy Jawed sticker because the sticker is a little Wompy Jawed. So if you got one of the labels that didn't say Wompy Jawed, I apologize. I added Wompy Jawed to the label, and for some reason I didn't save it, and so it was supposed to be a Wompy Jawed sticker. But.
Mike says, "Can you build on your land? Not on this lot." So we live in a subdivision, so we're on like a 100 by 100 lot or whatever size it is. We could buy the lot next to us and build there, but I don't know that's something I want to do. I really do like being in the garage. It's crazy as it sounds. And at some point, I may build a shop down the road, but it won't be. I don't think it'll be in South Arkansas. I think we'll wind up moving wherever we want to go, and then build there or buy something that already has a shop. It's kind of the goal later. Recommendations on a desktop bandsaw. So I've got a Win that was shipped to me. One of the viewers ordered it off Amazon, and 2 showed up, and then he tried to return it, and they told him to keep it, so he shipped it over to me. It's a Win. I've got a review on it. If you go search 731 Win bandsaw, you'll find it. I think it works really good. You can't resaw with it. Most of those bench top don't have enough space between the little guide thing and the blade or the table to be able to resaw with it. But cutting curves and stuff like that works really good.
Did you see what Mr. Clark said?
I did.
Said Amy needs a 60 by 40 in addition to yours, so she is able to retire and have her work in her channels the future. So at least 4,800 square feet and room for your kids someday working in your business.
That's funny.
You give them a button.
Super chat.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Our kids don't want to do this, though. They don't want to work with us.
They don't.
They're on the bigger and better things, I think. They don't want to have anything to do with us.
Kevin R. says, do you do much work with hand tools? No. Plane, chisel, such? No. I like building things. No. I'll use a chisel here and there, maybe a plane here and there just for minor things, taking off small amounts of material, but I've never built with just hand tools. A Rubio workbench would be a cool project. I would love to do that someday.
Pepper7144 says, all that is why you need to join him full time.
Yeah.
All caps, full time. I have signed my contract to work one more year with the school, but I am coming home full time after that.
Yep.
So I did sign my contract to work one more year.
One more.
I felt like that was God's plan. Like I've prayed over it and prayed over it and prayed over it, and I felt like that was God's plan for me to stay one more year.
She wants to do another year.
I think.
Burn Studio. Did we check the mail today?
Sure.
No, sir, we didn't.
We haven't been down there. I need to go down there.
We'll go down there tomorrow, the next day for sure.
Well, we've got to go.
Yeah, we'll be out and about tomorrow.
We've got to go tomorrow. Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but we really don't leave very often.
I don't.
He doesn't.
She leaves more than I do.
Because we're fixing to be out for a few days, and so I've been making him like
work. Get to work.
Because it stresses him out to have to leave, so I've been trying to do all the errands and let him get caught up here.
So Benjamin Walker says, probably an unfair question, but how do y'all know when it feels like God's plan? I've been trying to figure that out myself with a few things. So with me, lots of prayer and then just asking what I need to do, Now, it's not that, he's going to, he may but the bush isn't burning outside and him telling us what to do from the burning bush.
Yeah.
For me, like for quitting my other job and starting this job, I heard him speak to my spirit, and that whole story is in a video. You search 731 Leap of Faith. But I was praying about that for months. I was struggling over it. And then once I got to that point and I just heard him say, I got this. So peace. I was at peace instantly. I had been fighting and struggling and just basically going against what I believe God was pushing me to do or leading me to do. And so I think it's just lots of prayer and just going with how you feel about things. So, and we didn't do it, we've said it before, we didn't take the leap of faith without making some preparation. So I guess it's not a true leap of faith all the way, but I did leave a secure paycheck and insurance, retirement, but we had saved up enough to make it for a year basically. And if it didn't work, then we would figure something else out.
And I'll be honest, it's, I still don't feel at peace about it. Like, I feel like, I still feel like I'm making the wrong choice.
Oh, and you're the choice. I was talking about.
On mine.
Yeah.
I still don't feel at peace about it. I still feel like I need to come home. But then a big part of me also feels like I need to stay one more year. But I feel like the reason I'm staying for another year is because I'm staying for Mo. And so.
Mo's our daughter.
Yeah. And because last year was her first year as a teacher, and she and I work on the same hallway together. And he told me, he kind of clarified it for me, because he told me, he said, if you're only staying for Mo, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to work with her for one more year, because we only have a small
window
of opportunity to be with our kids like that. And she and I get to spend our days together. When we teach together, we work on the same hallway. In between every class period, we see each other. We go to work together. We spend our lunches together. We spend, morning duty together. We spend pep rallies together if we have them. We go to the auditorium together. We leave work together. We do all school functions together.
And I told her that because I know that she loves the kids that she's teaching too. It's not like she's like,
it's not that. I still hug my students. I still teach them lessons full out. I still do all of that stuff. But I know in my heart that it is time for me to leave and come here. I know that. But I want one more year with Mo. And I cannot come home without giving one more year with her. Or getting one more year with her. I need one more year with her. So, and he told me, he said, if that's why you're staying, there's nothing wrong with that. And, I felt greedy actually at first, but I love her. Like we fight at least once a day. Yeah. Argue at least once a day. We have to argue at least once a day because we're just alike. I raised myself, in her, but I just can't get enough of her. And we do everything together. We go get our nails done together every 2 weeks like clockwork. We shop together. We do everything together. Everything. We're always together. And so I have to stay with her one more year. And, when I told all my students that I was going to teach one more year, they were extremely upset. And that hurt my feelings too, because they wanted me there. And so I get one more year with kids too. It's not just her, but I get one more year with those kids too. So I don't know.
Listen, Anthony Sosa says, listen to you folks, fills my heart. How do you deal with the negative that comes from being on the internet? Not well sometimes, and sometimes better than others. Just being perfectly honest. Sometimes people, they dig at you.
Thank you, Becca.
And they know that they're digging at you. And then I'll sometimes call them out. And, I had one earlier today and I called them out on it. And it's just, it's part of it. I know it's part of it. Some people don't agree with the content you're going to make. They're not going to agree with the way you make it. They're not going to agree with whatever. Right? They're just having a bad day and they're taking it out on you. It's just how it is. But I sometimes it stings a little, especially if it's sprinkled with a little truth. It'll sting a little more. And sometimes it doesn't bother me and I'll laugh it off. So it just comes with a territory type thing. And some people are just mean.
Bruce, I teach at a public school, but I will say this. Our school is run by people who are very Christian oriented. So, we have, I don't hide it there. I'm not forced to, so. But it is a public school. It's a very small school. Thank you, Michelle Cochelle. My George Peach says, that is not greedy. That's giving your daughter some special time and attention. You could do a kid's craft channel.
Yep.
I thought about doing something like that.
Jay Hester says, hey, Matt, what's in the beard today? On the rocks every day. It's what do you call it? Copper John's Beard Company. And I use it on the rocks.
Is that the one that smells like
Fruity Pebbles?
I say it smells like Fruity Pebbles. It smells so good. Mm-hmm. I love it. Thank you, Rocky B. He says, you're a good mama, Amy. I can't fault you for that. I love working with her, though. I'm going to miss it one day. It's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. I'll argue with her.
Christina Sanchez, what's the easiest, best platform for an absolute new beginner to sell beginner-level projects? I really still think it's Facebook. Where else can you post? Because Instagram's not regional. It's just you get people from all over looking at your Instagram, especially once you start growing a little bit. Facebook, you're still going to have friends and family on there. I don't think the marketplace is a great place to start. I think just friends and family, especially if you have a lot of people that's following you, friends, family, acquaintances. Back in the day when you had Facebook, everybody sent you a friend request if you happen to pass each other in Walmart. It's just one of those things. Everybody friended everybody. So if you have one of those type things, you still have a ton of reach there that you can start kind of showing your products. And maybe on the first 10 or 15 posts, you're not for selling anything. You're just showing what you're making. That'll generate more interest than a for sale, because if you put for sale on there, Facebook usually tries to squish it a little bit. You don't get to see much reach. But if you're just posting pictures and posting content of what you're making, videos, photos, all that stuff, it'll start generating a little bit of interest too.
Becca said, how cool is it that you get to spend that much good time with your grown child? As a parent, I love that so much.
It's good.
See, Mo?
Yeah, Merryman, he says, Amy, when you find peace with your decision, then you know God has answered you. That's true, and that's what happened with me.
And what's been hard is that I found peace the moment I decided to sign my contract and stay. I found peace. That was the peaceful part. But where I started feeling conflicted again was when everybody started saying, no, you shouldn't have signed that. You needed to just go ahead and come home. And ever since then...
I didn't say that much.
Only about 25 texts a day. When everybody started saying that again. And I mean everybody. Like, a lot. So that part's been hard.
Yeah. No pressure.
Mo said all I'm hearing is Mo is my favorite child.
I wouldn't go that far. Charlie's still here.
That's funny.
Hey, off topic. Hide your face.
Oh my goodness.
I made a tiny hammer. Check that out.
Out of epoxy.
I've been making epoxy charcuterie boards. I've made two. I made two. Three. I made three. I finished two. One's still in the making.
That's funny.
Anyway, I had some leftover epoxy, and I saw these little ice trays. They're silicone ice trays you can get off Amazon in the shape of hammers. I was like, I wonder if epoxy would work in those. So I ordered one. Well, I've been hammering stuff with it.
Oh, my Lord.
And so I ordered the ice tray and poured some whatever little bit of epoxy I had left over into those things and let it sit.
Daniel Myers, see, our kids are grown, though. That's the thing. Our youngest is 20.
Yeah, they're all grown.
They're 20, 24, 25. Well, Mackenzie will be 24. Mo, she'll be 24 this year. And our oldest son will be 25, like, here soon, in just a few weeks. So they are grown. But here's the thing. Our kids don't want kids. None of them. None of our kids.
Well, they ain't met the right person either.
I think they'll change their mind one day. They say they won't. We'll see. None of our kids want kids. They all say that. They have said that their whole lives. Mm-hmm. Mo, when she was 3-4 years old, always said she was going to adopt. If she ever became a parent, It would only be through adoption. She is almost 24 and she still says that. Even if that is the only way that it happened, I'm fine with that. I was adopted, so I mean, I'm good with adoption.
Justin Hethers, no, she's talking about working one more year. That's what we're talking about.
What?
He thought you were changing careers.
Oh no, I'm just going to teach one more year and then come home to do this full time.
Lord willing.
Lord willing, yes. I'm excited though. I really am. See, Mackenzie Lumber Mill said her 29 and 30-year-olds still say they don't want kids. I don't know.
Yep.
God said someone needs to get them kids and give them love. The kid, she's talking about kids that need families. Yeah. Kids that are, yeah. I agree, Mo. I do. I love adoption. I was adopted, and adoption is near and dear to me. My mom is my biological mom, but my dad was my adopted dad. Oh, Tim Roberts said, my kids are adopted. I am blessed to have them and would work with them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
David Corliss says he and his wife don't have kids.
I can't spell your name, man. Or can't say that every time.
Sheila?
I can't pronounce it.
Which one?
Joao. Markall.
Oh,
he said, hi, man. I just want to... Yeah, I can't pronounce it. My apologies. Says, I just want to say he inspired me to start woodworking. I live in an apartment in Europe and difficult things. I don't know. But I'm starting to slowly learn the way. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love the way the name looks.
Yeah, I do too. We got you, Josh. We'll be praying for y'all.
Oh, hey, Josh and Nicole. Absolutely. Justin says his wife is adopted and her parents are the most amazing parents, have a huge amount of respect for people that are willing to give a home to kids that need it.
Very much.
You know, our town is really, really small, But we have some really good people in this town that have made major changes through adoption. Like really,
Whole families.
yeah,
Basically taking in
like
whole families.
huge changes. It's a small town, but they have really, yeah. I love it. That's the one thing I love about a small town is that you get to hear about that kind of stuff. I know it happens in big towns too, but you don't always get to hear about it.
William Guzman says woodworking is history, whatever that means.
Woodworking is history?
I don't know.
Oh, because we're not talking about it.
I don't know.
Because we're talking about everything except woodworking. Kevin says, I adopted my stepdaughter and it was the most beautiful thing and most fulfilling feeling. Aw, fulfilling feeling.
Say that 3 times fast.
I don't think I could. Goodness. You know, I can't see the time anymore on the way this is, but you know what time it is?
Power tip time.
Power tip time.
Hey, the power tip is you don't always have to build the biggest miter station or the biggest workbench or whatever. Start trying to think about what you're going to do with the space in the future. Try to kind of envision, okay, I want a bandsaw one day. Maybe it's going to be 2 years from now. But this miter station that I'm building, I want to be able to put this station, you know, the bandsaw here or router table here or stuff like that. So try to think in the future a little bit on what tools you're going to want and kind of a general size of them and start trying to plan out your space, especially if you moved into a garage recently. I know a lot of people are working in the garage or a shed or something like that. So just try to think long term and not short term. And even I'm saying that there's stuff that I know that needs to change in mind because there's different things I want to do later. And so now I'm trying to plan those things out, just kind of try to plan ahead as best as possible.
I like that. I like what Mike just asked, though. Do y'all have a bragging board for us to share pics of our work?
I don't, but I like that idea.
I do too. I like that.
I like the idea, Mike.
I do too.
She'll get on that.
Yeah, I will. I like the idea of that, Mike. So I'll come up with some kind of idea for a bragging board. Something separate from the community. This will just be a bragging board. So that way it's not something where people post, you know, like other stuff, but it'll just be a bragging board.
Yep.
I like that. Becca, that's funny. I paid a lot of money for fertility stuff. Does that count? I'm kidding. Definitely not the same. We would love to adopt at some point.
William Guzman says, I use the jig that helps cut straight. You right, that jig is awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, so really quick, let me give a shout out to our states. We've got a lot of them on here tonight. We have Texas, Florida, Missouri, Nevada, Illinois, Alabama, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Michigan, Canada, Pennsylvania, Colorado, New Hampshire, South Carolina, North Carolina, Utah, Wisconsin, Delaware, Missouri, Tennessee, Vermont, Iowa, Louisiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Arkansas, Germany, California, Indiana, Minnesota, Kansas, the Philippines, Georgia, Washington, House 731, home of the cutest Havanese in the world, North Dakota, and Maryland. If I missed your state, let me know.
Anthony Seiko.
I said Georgia.
Anthony Seiko says,
Virginia.
What's a tool that you own that you never thought you would? A few. Saw stop, Festool, anything.
Mm-hmm.
The Makita miter saw they got, most dust collector. I never thought I'd have a dust collector in my life.
We talked about that last week.
So, I'm telling you, I've been blessed beyond measure.
Man.
I know that, and I give all the glory and grace, or all the glory to God. He's provided more than I ever dreamed possible, and there's a lot of the stuff that I never thought that I would have it. I never thought I would. I mean, I looked at that stuff and thought, it'd be awesome to have that.
William, hold on one second.
But I didn't
know
that I would ever get it, I just didn't. I just didn't think I would. So if you're out there working with stuff and it's not what you want, just hang in there. Stuff's coming better.
William wants to know any woodworking tips for us. Says he wants to learn about a CNC. We do have a CNC.
I got a CNC. I've got a couple of 3 videos on it. So you can go check those out. The light side of CNC, dark side of CNC, and then the update of the setup of it. It's a great machine if you take the time to learn. And that's the main
definitely.
thing is if you go to my.carbide3d.com, you have to put the my dot in front of carbide3d.com. there's several different lessons there that teach you how to use their machine. That's the one I got. And it just breaks it down into really bite-sized lessons and kind of teaches you. They didn't have that when I got mine. And matter of fact, I think my dark side of CNC video kind of tweaked them to make some of this stuff, not all of it, but some of it, and to help new people get started, because I was brand new, never used it before. That's a good resource. But yeah, it's a good tool.
Sean says, I'm nowhere near very good, but would also like to show something off. I did write down a note for the bragging board. Maybe we could get it to where before the live stream starts, a couple of minutes before it starts, it'll rotate, and the bragging board could be a rotation of the pictures of things that y'all make.
Yep. That'd be cool.
That? And y'all could email them to me, and I could set up a slideshow type thing. Not slideshow, but, a rotation. And the bragging board.
Married Man teaches how to do that pre-roll.
Yeah, we could do a pre-roll like Married Man does. If y'all haven't seen his show, you need to check that out on Mondays.
Woodworking YouTubers.
It is awesome. And he starts it out so hyped up. So, Stephanie, our moderator, she's she's the program director of our show, is reminding everybody to hit that like button. If you are on a mobile device, just jump out of the chat, hit the like button, and then get back in there. But yeah, we'll do that. And that way, if you have a project that you want to brag about, then you can send it and we'll get something out to you on that next Tuesday. I've got that down. Now that I'm here during the week, I can do that.
Yellowhammer Woodcraft says, are you happy with your CNC? I'm thinking about making that my next purchase. I am happy with it. For what I use it for, works perfect. And once you learn how to program the right file, the right depth, the right speed, like all that stuff, just takes a little bit of time. But once I figured all that out, and I'm still not perfect with it, just trial and error stuff, it does what I need it to do. The size of it's great. I think I can cut like 30 by 30. That doesn't seem like much. When I was first looking at CNCs, I was like, I need like an 8-foot one, but nah,
Can you post the carbide link? And also, I forgot South Dakota from the blind woodworker. We have him from South Dakota. What do I need to post?
my.carbide3d.com.
There you go. All right. Who wanted that? Pepper7144. I just posted that link for you.
So CNC versus a Glowforge type machine. Glowforge is going to be a laser, and a CNC and the laser is two different things. Now, a laser can cut thinner wood, but a CNC can cut thicker wood and do different things. So, like if you're making trays and stuff like that, then you would want to go with CNC. Or if you're just batching out large amounts of stuff, the CNC I think would be better. But I would love to have a Glowforge one day, or a laser of some sort, because just the being able to etch things onto wood and just make them custom fast-ish, then
thank you, Sean Gleason. Says, love you guys. Keep it up.
Thank you.
DIY with Dennis says, by the way, the community is a great resource. I had a question today, posted the question, and had multiple answers and recommendations in literally minutes. A great community.
Yeah, it is very good.
Robert Williams says, how do you balance your work with family and church?
I struggle with it more than we had a fight, and
it's been a while.
I know, but I'm just saying there was a live stream that we talked about.
We don't fight often, and so when you do have one,
and so we did a live stream about why we were arguing, and that's what it was. I was just working too much. Working at home is a whole lot different than working at your job. Well, before I made supervisor, per se. So when I was a police officer, when I got out of the car, I was off. I didn't have to worry about most of the time. I didn't have to worry about anything. I was just off work. When I became a supervisor, it was different because the phone never stopped working, and doesn't matter if it was your day off or not. You got calls constantly. And being at home working, it's hard to just stop, because I know that I have X amount of stuff to do. I need to get back with this person, or get back with a sponsor, or get back with whatever, tons of emails and messages from all over. And then also I have to get this video ready for 2 days from now. Like, it's just so much going on. And I have to sometimes just like go internet shopping or something.
And so for us, we argue. How often do you think we argue?
Once every few months, maybe.
Yeah. So for us to have an argument, it's very, very rare. And when we have an argument, it's not bad. But for us, a small argument feels huge. So, but so the balancing thing, like today, I had to get a new computer because mine went kaput. I literally could not do basic stuff on my laptop to start working from home. And it came in today. And I had to do some stuff. And I felt so bad because he was trying to work. How many times did I call you in here today?
Just a couple.
No, it was more than a couple.
Oh, what? It's like twice.
I kept having to call him in here. And I felt really bad because the balance.
You don't got to feel bad about that.
I know, but I did. I mean, I didn't say anything to you, but I felt really bad because I know he's trying to balance life and work. The whole church thing, church is not a hard thing because we go on Sunday mornings. We don't go on Wednesday night. We don't go on Sunday night. We go on Sunday mornings.
Yep.
We do the Bible reading daily and go on Sunday mornings. We're not really Wednesday night, Sunday night churchgoers. We prefer
probably
Sunday
should,
mornings.
but
yeah, that's just yeah.
Daniel Meyer says, what are your thoughts on building your own CNC? I think if you have the capability to do it and you're comfortable with that, go for it. I mean, I don't know that I could do it, but if you can, I don't see anything wrong with it. You could build exactly what you wanted, the size you wanted, everything.
Daniel Myers, do you have a single sister? Who's he talking to?
Probably you.
I have a single sister.
Mm-hmm.
She's
funny.
really pretty. She looks nothing like me. She's pretty.
Dave Frizzle, does the ceiling mounted dust filtration really work? It does. It circulates a ton of air, especially the Laguna. The Laguna one has the CFM it's pulling is really high on the high end. It's got a low, medium, and high setting. Most of the time when I go in the shop, especially when I'm not recording audio, if it's just me working and I'm recording that thing is on and it's a low hum. It's a low air moving sound. It doesn't bother me, and I can put headphones in and listen to music and never even hear it. But it's constantly moving air, and the reason I got that was because I wanted to keep the majority of that fine dust out of my mini split, and I think it's working as much as it can. And then you can turn it on high. Like if I'm creating a bunch of dust, I turn that thing on high and it'll move some air. Or if I'm just hot, I can just turn it on low or medium and it'll just circulate air like a fan's blowing. So it's kind of a dual purpose.
Missy just texted me the sweetest thing.
The Hickory Lane Woodshed says he has dyslexia and ADD. It's hard for him to stay on track and keep from going down those rabbit holes. We kind of have that problem here on the live
all the
stream.
time.
So we'll venture off. It's okay, man. That's the way God made you. Just embrace it. Ed Milhorn says, if I can get his thing up there. Get up there. Says, is woodworking class recommended, or is there enough online videos to follow for patterns and ideas? There's a lot of online videos that can help you. I know that there are some really good ones that are really well rated. We're actually thinking about doing one ourselves just to really bake it, because YouTube doesn't allow you to break down the project and say, okay, this is what you do here. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So there are some really good ones. You can check out Steve Ramsey. He's got one, and it's highly rated. I've never taken it. I don't know, but a lot of people comment really good comments on it on his Facebook. So maybe worth checking out. And that's really the only one I know of that does basic woodworking stuff.
See, Mo said that I called her in once and said, I don't know what to do, but I've called your dad too much to help me. See, I called her in to help me several times
funny.
too. But look, Mo just told, she just said at Daniel Myers, she said, do I call you Uncle now or what? Uncle Daniel.
That's funny.
Hey, our youngest son's name is Daniel. We could always say you were named after your Uncle Daniel.
Thank you, David. I had a lot of fun making that drying wood video, and I just found it absolutely fascinating. And that's why iDrive hired us to go up there and make the video. But man, I just kept asking them Jake questions like, what does this do? What happens if this happens? What happens? I was genuinely curious about it. And he's such a nice guy.
Hey, we have Idaho here now. Idaho's here now.
Shine Gleason says,
Aprila's here.
Do you ever use dado blades, and are they always on the table saw? I asked because I saw one set up on a radial arm saw. I've never used a radial arm saw, so I don't know. But yeah, I've got a dado set for my table saw, and I use it fairly regularly. I wouldn't say all the time, but I use it enough to have one. I got a video I put out the first time I used it, but it just makes things much faster.
Daniel said he would give us his number and everything. He owns his own business, Trinity Custom Creations.
Yeah.
My sister's name is Pam.
Robert Davis says,
Pam may see this on Facebook and be like, what are you doing to me?
Robert Davis says, you got a mini split for a 2-car garage. How many BTUs did you get? So it was, I think it estimated I needed like 15,000 or something. I bought the biggest one I could get, 24,000 BTUs, and it doesn't have to work a lot. So it stays. I leave it on. My initial thought was I was going to turn it on. I was out there, turn it off. No, I leave it on 72 all the time. It's wintertime, 72 warm. Summertime, 72 cool.
Hey, Eric Roten is in the house.
Hey, Mr. And it hasn't hurt our electric bill. I actually thought it would like jack it way up, but it really hasn't. It hasn't. Our electric bill never went up. So
Katie Meyer says, your channel is so uplifting and we appreciate all that you can relate to in our life. So thank you for taking all the time and work for the content.
I appreciate that.
The Bearded Outdoorsman says, what is a tool that you thought you needed that you don't use much? You should be able to answer this. You just went through everything out there.
Well, I went to the Meyer station list. So early on, I thought I would need a electric hand plane, and I bought one. I probably used it twice, 3-4 times. I just don't use it that much. Most everything else that I've bought or I've worked with a company on, I use it most of that stuff I use. Trying to think.
Do not use everything that's out there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's all necessary. All of it.
No.
Every one of it.
No.
Except what I just named.
No. You, sir, are a liar.
No.
You do not use everything that's out there.
Well, not all at once. Some stuff I use sometimes. Some stuff I use every great once in a while.
You do not use everything out there.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I'll use that too. No, I can't think of much. I'm really trying to think. I'm going through the drawers right now in my
I do
mind.
not believe you.
Well, it's because you don't come out there much. If you was out there, you'd see all the stuff.
I watch you playing with Legos out there.
Daniel says he can even pronounce 2x4.
2x4. Do all wives say that?
Dallas Borden says, what's the best dust collection system? I'm dying out there in my shop. Board on Woodworks. Man, I don't know best. I've got the Laguna. We made a deal for a video. I still had to pay for most of it, but I got some of the price of it off basically. It works extremely well for my needs. I like it, but take it with a grain of salt. That it works for me. It has the 2 splitters. I've got 2 4-inch hoses. One goes straight to the CNC, and the other one I can just move around tool to tool. Harvey makes one that's kind of, I think Jason Bent has it. Bourbon Moth has it. You can check their channels out. I'm sure they got videos on those. I think either one of those would probably be good.
Kent, been a 1x6 supporter for 11 months. Whoop, whoop. One tool I can't do without is my new Ryobi dual train horn.
That's cool. Like a real horn?
I don't know. That's what it says.
That would be cool.
Josh has a wonderful idea. Miss 731, just sneak off with a few things and see how long it takes him to notice.
Instantly.
No, you wouldn't. Instantly. Mo, challenge accepted.
You don't be stealing my stuff.
Challenge accepted. You and I are doing this, Mo.
Here's what'll happen. Y'all will go out there and take something, and then I'll be looking for an hour in the shop. I know I got this. I know I got it.
Mm-hmm. Mo and I are doing this.
I'm going to be so angry.
No, you won't.
I'm going to throw something.
Oh, if I get that on camera.
That would hurt my feelings if you did that.
Oh, Mo and I are so doing that.
You do that, and I'm going to start rearranging the kitchen counters.
You would not. You would not do that to me.
You steal my tools.
You would not do that to me.
It's happening.
You know better. Nope, you would not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Kent said it's very loud, his horn.
Oh, that would be cool. Anyway.
Josh said, uh-oh, I may be in trouble. Look, Mo's ready to do it. Mm-hmm.
That gives me anxiety.
You don't use everything out there.
Why not? I got it then.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I use everything.
No, you don't.
At some point.
No, you don't.
Everything has a purpose.
If you used everything out there, then dust wouldn't be on there so bad.
Dust, that's wood shop. Dust gets everywhere.
Not like it is.
Uh-huh.
No.
Uh-huh.
No.
Uh-huh.
Mm-mm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Spider webs and dust.
What? There's spiders out there.
Months
I
worth.
told you I killed a giant one out there the other day.
He said there was a spider the size of his head out there.
It was big. It was real big. And then when I squished it, little babies went everywhere, and I sucked it up with the vacuum. All the little babies.
I don't know what he hasn't used.
Daniel Myers
but
wants to know if this is argument number 2. It's getting close. It's getting close. That's funny.
See, I have OCD, and so I like Riv. When we were at Riv's house, he was moving stuff and like opening cabinets in the kitchen, messing with his wife, and if he did that, like I would be literally crying in tears. I can't handle stuff like that in my house, and so I would have, like, my anxiety would be insane. If I'm at work and I know he's moved a picture frame on the counter, I will literally, at my very next break, or as soon as the teacher's aide can come and watch my kids for a minute, we'll have to run home and fix it, or my OCD won't let me rest. Like, my doctor wants me to be on medicine for it, but I won't take medicine. It's that bad. My doctor has wanted to medicate me for years, and I won't take medicine. It's bad.
David Corliss has a good idea. We put drawers on the miter station and add locks. I like that idea. I may have to.
You won't ever do it.
I may have to. Miss Stephanie says, well, this is taking a turn for the worse. How about them bears?
Miss 731, don't you know that an integral part of woodworking is that every woodworker is also a tool collector?
Yeah, I hoard tools. I like them. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'll stand by that. Gary May says, hey, Matt, I can't get the Delta table saw because it's now out of stock. Which one do you recommend? If you like that Delta, Rigid makes one. It's the Delta, exactly like the Delta 36725 T2, but it's orange. Just search Delta table saw or Rigid table saw. Look for the one that looks like the Delta. Home Depot sells it. I think it's $629, something like that. That's the one. It's the exact same saw.
Daniel just said his Pam like that too.
You know what tool I really love is my headphones that I use in the shop because they look like this and they keep my ears protected. I actually use those quite often. I used them the other day when I was using my planer because it helps me from going deaf. So go put them back.
What?
I saw the headphones in the text. Go put them back.
What are you talking about?
Mo texted you a picture of my headphones, my ear protection. They stealing my ear protection. Why would you steal ear protection? She wants me to go deafer than I already am.
I didn't know that she took them. I was laughing because, did you hear what I said?
No.
Mo's already went and stole something. Did you hear what I said?
No.
Daniel said his Pam like that too. Okay, hold on. Daniel, how old are you? Because Pam may be too old for you. I don't even know how old you are. But no, Pam's not like Pam's a lot quieter than me for the most part, unless you make her mad. But now, the only thing that'll make Pam like a bear is if you mess with me. You mess with me and it's over with. Like, she is way protective of me.
Huts Woodwork says, did you pick out your new miter saw? I did. And I went with the Makita. I posted a picture on the community tab of the progress of the miter station so far with the Makita sitting on it. So you can check that out if you want to.
Mo said you never read my screen. The one time that you do is when.
Jamie McFarland, what was your question?
Daniel, she is. Hold on.
You need to borrow my fingers too?
53. She may be too old for you. She's 10 years older than me. I'm 44.
Josh Crusher says, my biggest fear is my wife will one day sell my tools for what I told her I paid for them.
She's 54.
You're not supposed to tell a woman's age. You're a woman. You already know this by now. That's rude.
Steph said Mo got busted by the dad. Oh, see? He's 63. That's a good age for her. She only likes men that are older than her. See? That's a good age. Mm-hmm. She's got 2 grandbabies, a brand new granddaughter and then a grandson who just graduated kindergarten. And they're so precious.
I'm sitting there trying to think of a tool I don't use.
She's
And I ain't
29.99. this time there are more things out there. Mo, leave his stuff alone.
You better.
Wasn't really gonna
I
go
know
take
where
his
you live.
things. He'll start taking your things. You're not OCD, and you're getting ready to leave for cheer camp.
Yep. Jamie McFarland says, "Where are you going to put that?" Hey, no question. We'll find a spot. We'll find a spot.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. Andy said I'm 58, but taken.
I ain't there yet.
58 or taken.
58. Oh, well, obviously I'm taking.
Exactly. Well, the way you said it.
Dan says there's 3 prices you pay for tools: the price you really paid, the price you tell your wife you paid, the price you pay when she finds out what you paid. That's funny. I like that.
Jamie McFarland said, "Made my day, Matt. Made my day." I don't know which one, what they're responding to on that one. Mo said, "I'm 23-ish." Yeah, Mo, you real old. David Corliss said, "Turn 56
Happy
Monday."
birthday.
Happy
Early.
birthday.
Or late. On Monday or this coming Monday?
I think he means next Monday.
Thank you, Ken.
Have a good week, Josh. Awesome, Dave. Says, "I'm going to buy all your woodworking plans once the shop is functional." Mo.
June 6th.
Oh, Dave, I turned 54
Hey,
today.
happy
Happy birthday. Y'all tell Dave happy birthday. Whoop, whoop. Married man. He's saying 10-minute warning.
That's funny.
Good night, Justin.
Mike says he put a bell outside so he gets his attention when somebody goes in his shop.
That's funny. What do you think about Grizzly table saws? Morgan wants to know. Morgan Wireman.
I haven't used them. So I really don't know. I don't know much about. So James King has mixed feelings about Grizzly from what I remember him talking about. He says some things are great, some things are meh. So I don't know. I would have to really, really research on Grizzly. If I was looking at a Grizzly line, I'd probably also be looking at a Harvey line of table saws. They make some really cool looking stuff. 1915 Woodworks just got a new Harvey table saw. Go check his channel out. I don't know if it's in your budget and you like them. I mean, I think they would be good saws. I've just never done research on them, so I can't speak to them.
Happy day after, Tanner. Happy day after birthday. Tanner Merritt, he turned 33 yesterday. Have you thought about doing anything? Oh, it went away. Thank you, Ken Sr.
Super chat. Thank you.
Have you thought about doing anything with the dovetail? Sean wants to know.
I thought about it. I got some dovetail.
Really?
I got some dovetail jigs to hand cut dovetails. I've never done it. I just haven't. And one day I would like to.
Robert Sanchez Jr. says Ryobi planer. Thoughts? Question mark.
I've never used Ryobi's planer, so I don't know. They make some pretty good stuff. I don't know how heavy duty you would want to get with that. If you're just planing a little bit of stuff, trying to clean up some rough lumber a little bit and plane it down dimensionally, which is what a planer does, I think it'd probably be all right. But I would look at the Win 13-inch too. I don't know what the price is on the Ryobi. The Win is really highly rated. That's one I was going to get before I got the DeWalt. So most of them are probably going to be pretty comparable.
James Tubbs says, "What program do you use to make your build plans you sell?" We actually hire somebody else to make our plans
H2
for us.
Wood Shop. He's in here, or was earlier.
And Martin says, if you're trying to save space, have you considered installing a router table as an extension wing on your table saw? And then you can also answer H2.
H2 builds our plans for us. He uses Google SketchUp. Yes, I have thought about a router extension, and it's something I probably will look at in the coming months. That'll free up 3 foot by 2 foot of space. The only thing I really like about my router table, I mean, I like a lot about it, but one of the things I would miss is all the storage that I have in there. That gives me a little bit of extra storage for routers, and all that stuff stays confined right there. If I bought the extension wing, then I would have to build some type of enclosure to keep all that stuff with. So, but yeah, I think it's a good use of space, and especially if you get the cast iron top, it's rock solid.
All right. Well,
was that it already?
That's it.
Oh golly.
That's all of it. We had fun tonight.
Best contractor saw to start with, probably the DeWalt. If you're talking about tabletop saws, I would go with DeWalt. If you're talking about contractor, like best contractor, like the time that stand on their own, then Sawdust. It's about $1,500 or so. Under that, then I would probably look at the new rigid table saw.
Let's go out. Give Scruffy Santa some music. Thanks for all you do. 1 to 6 supported for 3 months. Says thanks for all you do. Love the content, no matter what it is. We love you, Scruffy Santa. Y'all have a good week.